Hello and welcome to this week's video, a horror collab with Dragons in Dresses Consortium. This week I'm going to do another Halloween video, and I have this skull mould which I got from Temu, and I have a coaster mould, and I think this came as a set of other coasters from Amazon. I want to make an aquacast skull, but I want to make it very shallow, much more shallow than you would normally make. I've already made one of these because I'm going to use it for something else, and it's quite deep, so I want this to be at least half that depth because I intend to place it on the coaster, and at the moment it's sitting proud. So I'm going to just eyeball it. I'm literally going to mix up 1 scoop of the aquacast, and then I will just add a tiny bit of water and try and get the consistency right. I have used aquacast quite a few times, so I do know what it looks like. I'm just going to pop a dust mask on while I put some powder in my pot. Okay, I've got 1 level scoop here. And I'm just going to take some water in a bottle, and I'm going to try and add it a drop at a time until I get the consistency that I usually see with aquacast. And that's definitely not it. Okay, that's looking a little bit more promising. Okay, I'm going to try that, and if I don't have enough I'll just have to mix up a little bit more. Got some bits in my mould. Let's shake that around a little bit. This might be enough actually. I think I've made it about half the depth of the mould. Zoom in a little bit. So that's about half the depth of the mould, and it will cause a little dip to form on the back, so I will need to sand that flat, which will take off a little bit more of the surface. I think this is going to be enough. Let me just take my mask off, I don't need that on anymore. I'm just going to, right, I have a little micro brush here, and I'm just going to run that around these right angle edges just to try and make sure that there are no bubbles. And on the inside too. Don't forget the nose. Okay. Oops. Right, so I'll leave that now and let that set, and then once it is, I can mix up some resin, and I'm going to place this face down into the coaster, and then I'll show you what happens next. Okay, I want to create a rim of black mica just around here. I've got my epoxy here. I'm going to use the J. Diction I think it's just their normal epoxy resin. Just got a small pot here. It says crystal clear. I've had this sitting in some hot water for a little bit. So I'm just going to make up my resin, not a lot, and I will mix some black mica into it. I used approximately 10 mils of each part, A and B. And then I used some Arteza black mica in noir, and I mixed that in thoroughly too. Then I carefully poured it around the edge of the coaster mould until it was level with the middle. Okay, that's poured, and I'm going to leave that now to completely set, and then I will add a layer of clear over the top. Okay, this should be set now, so I'm going to demould it. I'm going to be careful. I've given it longer than an hour. I think it's going to be getting it over the eyes without cracking it. That will be a problem. That's 1, 2, yeah, there we go. Nice, no bubbles. And I think this is not set yet, so I'll be careful. But I think that will be fine. Yep, I will definitely have room to put another layer behind it. So now I just need to wait for this. Then I can put a very thin layer of clear resin and set this in that and leave that to dry. So obviously this still needs to dry before I do that. I don't want any moisture left in this. So I'm going to go and set this in the sun to speed up the drying time. And I'll meet you back here when I'm ready to put the resin in. Okay, I've mixed up some of the J. Diction resin again, just some clear this time, and I just want to put a thin coat over here, so I'm just going to pour that over the surface. I really do want only a thin coat, so I'm just going to see if I can spread this with my heat gun for a minute. And my stick. I want enough to stick the skull down, but not so deep that I fill in the cavities in the eyes. So I probably need a little bit more. Try that. That will probably be enough because the skull will push some of this out and make some space for itself. Okay, that is covered now. Can't see any holes. Let's give it one more blast. Bubble there. Oh, stubborn bubble. Oh, actually it might be a bit of resin. Okay, so that's the face of it. So I'm just going to place this face down now, hopefully into the middle. Okay, and I will come back and check on that to see whether it has moved, which I don't want it to do. Let me just find a stick that isn't dirty. 1 second. Right, I just want to make sure that there are no bubbles, because it might well release some bubbles. I'm really only worried about the eyes. And just want to make sure that that has touched the surface. Create an actual surface there. Okay, that looks like that's solid. Right, hopefully it stays like that. I'll check it in, say, 20 minutes or so, see what's happening. Anyway, if everything goes well, I will leave that to set and then I will be back. Okay, my resin is nice and set now. I have a piece of document cover, just to acetate. I'm going to use my Sharpie pen to mark out the inside dimensions of the eye for both the large one and the small one. It doesn't have to be super accurate. And then I can set that side. And I'm going to turn my document cover over. Now I have some of these little googly eyes, wiggly eyes, whatever you want to call them. So I'm going to put some UV resin here and set the eyes in place and fill these circles, keeping the eyes all within my template, so that I can turn this back over and insert the eyes in place. So I'm just going to get myself set up and then I can fill this with some UV resin and put all the little eyes in. Okay, a voiceover because I've got PPE on. This is J. Diction's UV resin, just medium viscosity. And I'm just applying a thin layer to the template. And then I'll use a stick just to spread it out and make sure that it's all evenly covered. I just need a layer to stick all the little eyes to, and then I can set that in place. So I've got a pick up stick, and that's what I started using to apply them, but I really couldn't get them off. So I think in the end I ended up using some tweezers, which was a little bit easier. And it's just a case of applying them and making sure that they all stay within the lines of the template. Once I have them all in place, I'll use a UV torch to set them, just hold them in place. And then I can cure it from underneath as well. Okay, I have stuck all of the little eyes on, and I'm really sorry if this is tripping anybody out. There you go. So this space, which corresponds to the little one, I wanted to put a larger googly eye in, but there's not enough depth. So I've decided to make my own googly eye. I've just cut out, and you can't see it because it's on my black glove, I've cut out 2 little circles out of black card, which I've glued together, and I've cut out a white eye out of vinyl. I'm going to put the black card in there, and I'm going to stick, and I will have to take my glove off for this, excuse me. I will stick the vinyl onto the template here, the plastic. This is going on the front. Is that going to work that way round? Oops. I think so. Oh. Okay. That should give me my googly eye now. So that sticks over there, that goes in there, and that sticks over there. So the pen is on the back. I'm just going to use some alcohol now to get rid of that. And then I will cut this around. And I'm going to use some UV resin to stick this down. So let me clean the back of this with some alcohol. If I can find out where I've put it. Okay, that's gone. Right. Actually, I'm going to mark it again, just to make sure that I don't cut it too small. I want to leave enough room for me to stick my resin. So I'm just going to cut that out. There we go. Let's try that on there now. Yep, that's going to be fine. Let's just clean the rest of the ink off. Right, before I do that, before I glue it down, I think we need to put some little veins on here. I hope this red pen works. Let's see. Yep, it does. Okay, so I think that'll be enough. Now, gloves back on, and I'm going to use some J. Diction's UV resin to bond this down. So I'm just going to put some UV resin around the edge. And then I will stick this down. And then I'm going to cure that. Right, I'm going to be adding a darker layer on the back here, so I want to make sure that I have completely sealed this. So I'm actually going to put some more UV resin just around the edge here and make sure that it gets completely sealed. Be careful where the nose is, because that's going to get filled. Okay, that should be okay. Make sure that it is going under all of the edge here. I don't care if it goes over the back, that's fine. Let's just clean my hand. And I'm going to set that too. I've mixed up some more of the J. Diction resin, and I've put some more black Arteza mica in there. And now I'm going to add some laser powder. Ooh, that's pretty. Stir that in. Hope I've got enough here. Now I'm just going to top this up. I've just got to get all that into the nose. See you later. Okay, this is completely set now, and that's what the back looks like. Got a few little sort of bubbles there, I think. Might not be bubbles, might just be where the glitter's risen to the surface. Anyway, let's see if I can demould it. This is quite an old mould, so it probably won't be particularly shiny. But that's okay, I can give it a top coat anyway. Okay, let's have a look. I didn't think about the back of the eye, but actually I quite like it. I was going to do it white, and I don't know whether that would have been better or not. I really like it. You can see that my googly eye, handmade googly eye, actually works. I have got one bubble there. One bubble right in the middle. I don't mind that actually. Looks like a highlight in the eye. Every silver lining. Yeah, and I got a couple of little bubbles there. I can fill those in actually because I can feel them on the surface. And I think, nope, that's not one. Maybe there might be one there and one there and there. So as I say, the top coat will take care of that. You can see it's a little bit, well, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a damaged mould. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. So next step is just to do the top coat. That's a simple mix up a tiny bit of resin, pour it on. You don't need to see me do that, so I will show you some photographs of the end results. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and if you could comment, that would really help my channel, and maybe consider subscribing. The link for the rest of the playlist is in the description box below. Come back again and see what I might be making next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.